Each of the lifts in our system of training, all of the barbell lifts, have got a prescribed eye gaze direction as part of the instructions for the lift. Where you are looking with your eyeballs has a whole bunch to do with how the bar is going to move through space. Now, I know you think it's irrelevant. I know a bunch of power lifters want you to look up at the ceiling when you deadlift and look up at the ceiling when you squat and all this other shit. That is stupid, all right? It's foolish to do that. When you go out in your garage and you pick up a box of junk in your garage, where do your eyes go? They look at the floor, don't they? They look at the floor because you have to pick up that box of junk and you have to walk around with it in the garage and not fall over on your ass. And the way you do that is to keep your eyes on the ground so your feet know where to go. Now, this is no less important in a squat or a deadlift, even though you're not moving around on the floor. Your eye gaze direction provides proprioceptive feedback about your position in space. And as a result of that, the eye gaze must be in the appropriate direction to aid in that proprioception. So when you are squatting, you are going to be looking at a point on the floor, maybe 5 or 6 feet in front of you on the floor. Now, this at the bottom of the squat, this keeps your cervical spine aligned in a nice neutral position. When you're pulling a deadlift off the floor, you're going to be looking 10 or 15 feet in front of you because of the difference in the angle of the back and stuff. And as you pull, your eye stays on that point on the floor. When you're pressing, you look at a point on the wall in front of you. If you're pressing in a location without a wall in front of you, it becomes difficult, as you may have noticed. You stare at the wall in front of you or some object that gives you feedback about your position in space. The bench press is performed by looking up at the ceiling. We're assuming you're training inside, of course. Now, if you're at Muscle Beach, your bench press is not your priority anyway. So look at the point on the ceiling, stare at it. And when you're doing a power clean, you're out on the floor, maybe a tiny bit further out than you were for the deadlift. But for the same reasons, the eye gaze direction returns information to you about your position in space. This is terribly important for you to get in the habit of doing, is to maintain a constant eye gaze direction depending on the specifics of the lift you are performing, because it will keep you from falling over on your ass, okay? Get in the habit of doing that and reinforce that every time you do the lifts.